somebody has added ChatGPT AI into Skyrim, but they've gone much further than that because they've actually combined it with other AI software in order to enable you, the player, to actually speak to NPCs in Skyrim using your own voice, and consequentially have an immersive conversation in the game with all the characters you know and love from Skyrim. Let me show you guys an example here with Lydia, and then we'll go over how this actually works and what this may mean for the future of roleplay games like The Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5.
Did you learn to horse ride in Whiterun?
Let me think. My training in horse riding began long before I became a housecarl. I hail from a family of nomards who were skilled with horses, and I learned much of what I know from my father. However, in my time serving as a housecarl for the Jarl of Whiterun, I have had much opportunity to ride and care for horses, and my skills in this have only improved as a result.
So you're probably wondering how this Skyrim mod actually works. Well, the creator, Art from the Machine, has written a script that combines 3 different AI softwares together. So for this example, let's pretend that we ask an innkeeper about rumors. Firstly, we have Whisper AI, which is a speech-to-text AI that translates what you say verbally into text. That text is then sent to the second AI software, ChatGPT, which is an AI chatbot that can be fed information about the NPC it's going to be role-playing as. So depending who it's role-playing as, it can give you the appropriate response. The text response that it gives you is then sent to another AI called XBA Synth, which is pre-trained on the character's voice lines that exist in the game of Skyrim to enable it to sound like any character you're talking to in the game. And here's that result of asking the innkeeper about rumors.
I hear a lot of interesting stories from the people passing through. It's a good way to stay connected to what's happening in the world outside of Whiterun.
So this combination of AI basically allows you to talk to any NPC in Skyrim, ask them any question you want, and they'll respond in character. But now, let's take a look at how well this actually works.
So were you ever told campfire stories?
Let me think.
Just having a very deep think about that.
Yes, my family and I used to tell campfire stories during our hunting trips. We would share tales of great Nordic heroes and legendary creatures such as trolls and draugr. I remember once my father told us a story about a warrior who battled a powerful dragon and emerged victorious. It was a thrilling and inspirational tale that instilled courage in me and my siblings.
My father's story instilled courage within me and my siblings. There's just something so philosophical about the way ChatGPT currently speaks.
As a housecarl, my identity is closely tied to my duties and my role as a protector and servant. However, I do have my own thoughts, feelings, and desires, and I strive to maintain a sense of balance between my duty and my inner self. It can be a challenge at times, particularly when my emotions conflict with my duties or when I am faced with difficult decisions.
Confirmed, Lydia is in love with us. That or she's talking about all the people we've robbed, slaughtered, or sacrificed over the years traveling with her. Could you imagine if someone made a ChatGPT based Skyrim follower that you could just play the game with? They would remember the conversations and journeys and experiences you had with them. So it would just be like actually traveling around Skyrim with a friend. I feel like you would actually form a meaningful relationship with them. So in this new updated version of this mod from Art of the Machine, he's actually added in lip syncing. So the character and NPCs you're talking to are actually going to react and engage in that conversation. Conversations are started by using a spell. Oh, okay. Starting conversation with Skolvar.
Greetings there, traveler. How are you on this fine day?
Okay.
Yes, we'll be open for a few more hours. War Maidens is typically open from 8am until 8pm. Is there something you need?
So
What time is it now?
Let me think.
The thinking time currently is obviously holding this back for gameplay purposes. As this technology progresses and these different AI software can talk to each other more fluidly, this time is only going to get shorter. I mean, think back to how long it took to download a JPEG file from an email like 20 years ago compared to now where you can stream an entire movie online.
It's approximately 5pm. Is there anything I can help you with?
Iron Sword of Souls.
What do you think of this?
Wait,
Let me think. Let me take a closer look at that sword. It seems to be a well-crafted iron sword with a soul gem embedded in the hilt.
How did you know
The
that?
enchantment on it allows the wielder to capture the souls of their enemies. I was just taking a
Damn,
break.
so he actually explains the enchantment to you? The fact that they can interact with the environment of Skyrim like that and comment on things you're doing in the game and explain things when you ask them about it is really intriguing to me.
I was just taking a break from the shop and decided to come here to relax for a bit. The Bannered Mare is always a great place to unwind after a long day.
Doesn't he have a wife?
Please call me Dragonborn.
Let me think. Forgive me, Dragonborn. It's not every day that I meet someone of your caliber.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So they actually remember who you are and if you previously met them.
Greetings, Dragonborn. Is there something I can help you with today?
So in theory, you could build up a relationship, like a real relationship with some of the NPCs in Skyrim. How cool would it be if you could persuade them to give you a discount?
One time, this drunk patron stumbled into the inn and started reciting poetry. It was so bad that even the chickens outside were clucking in protest.
As an apothecary, I don't have.
I mean, some of the voice to speech, you can hear it struggling because it's limited on what it's learned from the character's dialogue, but in terms of the voice actually sounding like the character or the NPC it's trying to portray, it absolutely nails it. It does sound like it, even though it's a little bit roboticized. These are all things that are going to improve in time. This is just the start of what we have available to us. And it's been applied to a game that's over a decade old and it still works pretty damn well, pretty convincingly well.
Certainly, she is known for her compassion for all living things and her desire to preserve the natural balance of the world.
If you're after plants, the plains around Whiterun are a good place to start. You can find alchemical ingredients like lavender, hanging moss, and tundra cotton growing.
Asking someone like Ysilda where to find certain ingredients and her actually telling you local knowledge about the area, which actually helps out in the gameplay.
I can share some of the basic principles of combat that are essential for any warrior to master.
Okay.
Keep your knees bent and slightly flexed to help absorb impacts and allow for quick movements. 3.
Okay.
Avoid standing still for too long, as this makes you an easier target. Move around and use your footwork to keep your opponent off balance.
That's good advice. It would be even cooler if the NPCs would actually give you Skyrim gameplay advice, like, have you tried the enchanting alchemy loop?
When we look at the world through the lens of interconnectedness, we begin to see that our well-being is intertwined with the well-being of all living things. Just as a single drop of water can create a ripple that spreads throughout the whole pond, so too can our choices and actions affect the world around us. We can learn to honor and respect this interconnectedness.
This is the thing that makes ChatGPT just not sound human.
Some might argue that we are products of genetics, environment, and conditioning, and that our lives and choices are predetermined to a certain extent. Others might argue that we have a degree of free will and the power to shape our own destinies. Ultimately, though, such philosophical inquiries do not have a concrete answer and are better left to those who have the time and energy to ponder them. As for me, I'll stick to what I know best, forging weapons and armor.
This is just ridiculous. Obviously, we need to give it certain limitations when it's role-playing characters like a blacksmith. You just wouldn't have a blacksmith having a deep philosophical conversation with you. That's the problem. This is the kind of conversation that makes you realize you're talking to an AI.
I prefer to live a more peaceful life, appreciate music, and soak up the beauty of our land.
Sometimes
Okay, wow,
it's easy to
that's
get
cool.
caught up in the hustle and bustle of Skyrim and forget to appreciate the little things in life.
Getting smashed.
It was a pleasure speaking with you. May the journey ahead bring you much joy and discovery.
These conversations sound way more realistic to me.
It was good talking to you as well, friend. Don't hesitate to stop by War Maidens if you ever need anything.
Oh, it's so cool.
Have a good night.
He knows it's nighttime. I don't know when Art from the Machines mod is actually going to be coming out, but so far what I've seen from it has blown me away that he's made this integration into a 10-year-old game. And this will just simply transform how you would play Skyrim and how you would be immersed in the world of Skyrim and just sitting there in pubs and chatting to different NPCs. But if you want to see how AI and ChatGPT can actually change how you solve quests in Skyrim, you you're going to want to check out this other video I made over here where we look at exactly that. The future of AI in video games is very interesting to me, so if you're also interested in that, make sure you hit subscribe too.